Book 12, Chapter 1. How Sir Lancelot in his madness took a sword and fought with a knight, and leapt in a bed. And now leave we of a while of Sir Ector and of Sir Percivale, and speak we of Sir Lancelot that suffered and endured many sharp showers, that ever ran wildwood from place to place, and lived by fruit and such as he might get, and drank water 2 year. And other clothing had he but little but his shirt and his breech. Thus as Sir Lancelot wandered here and there, he came in a fair meadow where he found a pavilion, and thereby, upon a tree, there hung a white shield, and 2 swords hung thereby, and 2 spears leaned there by a tree. And when Sir Lancelot saw the swords, anon he leapt to the one sword, and took it in his hand, and drew it out. And then he lashed at the shield, that all the meadow rang of the dints, that he gave such a noise as 10 knights had foughten together. Then came forth a dwarf, and leapt unto Sir Lancelot, and would have had the sword out of his hand. And then Sir Lancelot took him by the both shoulders, and threw him to the ground upon his neck, that he had almost broken his neck. And therewithal the dwarf cried help. Then came forth a likely knight, and well apparelled in scarlet furred with minever. And anon as he saw Sir Lancelot, he deemed that he should be out of his wit. And then he said with fair speech, Good man, lay down that sword, for as meseemeth thou hadst more need of sleep and of warm clothes than to wield that sword. As for that, said Sir Lancelot, come not too nigh, for when thou do, wit thou well I will slay thee. And when the knight of the pavilion saw that, he stirred backward within the pavilion. And then the dwarf armed him lightly. And so the knight thought by force and might to take the sword from Sir Lancelot, and so he came stepping out. And when Sir Lancelot saw him come so armed with his sword in his hand, then Sir Lancelot flew to him with such a might, and hit him upon the helm such a buffet, that the stroke troubled his brains, and therewith the sword brake in 3. And the knight fell to the earth as he had been dead, the blood bursting out of his mouth, the nose, and the ears. And then Sir Lancelot ran into the pavilion, and rushed even into the warm bed. And there was a lady in that bed, and she get a smock, and ran out of the pavilion. And when she saw a lord lie at the ground like to be dead, then she cried and wept as she had been mad. Then with her noise the knight awaked out of his swoon, and looked up weakly with his eyes. And then he asked her, where was that madman that had given him such a buffet? For such a buffet had I never of man's hand. Sir, said the dwarf, it is not worship to hurt him, for he is a man out of his wit. And doubt ye not he have been a man of great worship, and for some heartly sorrow that he hath taken, he is fallen mad. And me beseemeth, said the dwarf, he resembleth much unto Sir Lancelot, for him I saw at the great tournament beside Lonazep. Jesu defend, said that knight, that ever that noble knight, Sir Lancelot, should be in such a plight. But whatsoever he be, said that knight, harm will I none do him. And this knight's name was Bliant. Then he said unto the dwarf, Go thou fast on horseback unto my brother Sir Sullivan, that is at the castle blank, and tell him of mine adventure, and bid him bring with him an horse litter, and then will we bear this knight unto my castle. Chapter 2. How Sir Lancelot was carried in an horse litter, and how Sir Lancelot rescued Sir Bliant, his host. So the dwarf rode fast, and he came again and brought Sir Sullivan with him, and 6 men with an horse litter. And so they took up the feather bed with Sir Lancelot, and so carried all away with them unto the castle blank, and he never waked till he was within the castle. And then they bound his hands and his feet, and gave him good meats and good drinks, and brought him again to his strength and his fairness. But in his wit they could not bring him again, nor to know himself. Thus was Sir Lancelot there more than 1.5 years, honestly arrayed and fair faring withal. Then upon a day this lord of that castle, Sir Bliant, took his arms, on horseback, with a spear, to seek adventures. And as he rode in a forest, there met with him 2 knights adventurous. The one was Brusorn's Pite, and his brother, Sir Bertelot. And these 2 ran both at once upon Sir Bliant, and brake their spears upon his body. And then they drew out swords and made great battle, and fought long together. But at the last Sir Bliant was so wounded, and felt himself faint. And then he fled on horseback toward his castle. And as they came hurling under the castle, whereas Sir Lancelot lay in a window, so how 2 knights laid upon Sir Bliant with their swords. And when Sir Lancelot saw that, yet as wood as he was sorry for his lord, Sir Bliant. And then Sir Lancelot brake the chains from his legs and of his arms, and in the breaking he hurt his hands sore. And so Sir Lancelot ran out at a postern, and there he met with the 2 knights that chased Sir Bliant. And they pulled down Sir Bertelot with his bare hand from his horse, and therewithal he rode his sword out of his hand. And so he leapt unto Sir Breuse, and gave him such a buffet upon the head that he tumbled backward over his horse's croup. And when Sir Bertelot saw there his brother have such a fall, he get a spear in his hand, and would have run Sir Lancelot through, that saw Sir Bliant, and struck off the hand of Sir Bertelot. And then Sir Breuse and Sir Bertelot get their horses and fled away. When Sir Sullivan came and saw what Sir Lancelot had done for his brother, then he thanked God, and so did his brother, that ever they did him any good. But when Sir Bliant saw that Sir Lancelot was hurt with the breaking of his irons, then was he heavy that ever he bound him. Bind him no more, said Sir Sullivan, for he is happy and gracious. Then they made great joy of Sir Lancelot, and they bound him no more. And so he abode there an half year and more. And on the morn early Sir Lancelot was where came a great boar with many hounds nigh him. But the boar was so big there might no hounds tear him. And the hunters came after, blowing their horns, both upon horseback and some upon foot. And then Sir Lancelot was where one alighted, and tied his horse to a tree, and leaned his spear against the tree. Chapter 3. How Sir Lancelot fought against a boar and slew him, and how he was hurt, and brought unto an hermitage. So came Sir Lancelot, and found the horse bound until a tree, and a spear leaning against a tree, and a sword tied to the saddle bow. And then Sir Lancelot leapt into the saddle, and gat that spear in his hand, and then he rode after the boar. And then Sir Lancelot was where the boar set his ass to a tree fast by an hermitage. Then Sir Lancelot ran at the boar with his spear, and there the boar turned him nimbly, and rove out the lungs and the heart of the horse, so that Lancelot fell to the earth, and, or ever Sir Lancelot might get from a horse, the boar rove him on the brawn of the thigh up to the huff bone. And then Sir Lancelot was wroth, and up he get upon his feet, and drew his sword, and he smote off the boar's head at one stroke. And therewithal came out the hermit, and saw him have such a wound. Then the hermit came to Sir Lancelot and bemoaned him, and would have had him home unto his hermitage. But when Sir Lancelot heard him speak, he was so wroth with his wound that he ran upon the hermit to have slain him, and the hermit ran away. And when Sir Lancelot might not overget him, he threw his sword after him, for Sir Lancelot might go no further for bleeding. Then the hermit turned again, and asked Sir Lancelot how he was hurt. Fellow, said Sir Lancelot, this boar hath bitten me sore. Then come with me, said the hermit, and I shall heal you. Go thy way, said Sir Lancelot, and deal not with me. Then the hermit ran his way, and they met with a good knight with many men. Sir, said the hermit, he was fast by my place the goodliest man that ever I saw, and he is so wounded with a boar, and yet he has slain the boar. But well I wot, said the hermit, and he be not hoping that goodly men shall die of that wound, and that were great pity. Then that knight of the desire of the hermit get a cart, and in that cart that knight put the boar and Sir Lancelot. For Sir Lancelot was so feeble that they might right easily deal with him. And so Sir Lancelot was brought unto the hermitage, and there the hermit healed him of his wound. But the hermit might not find Sir Lancelot's sustenance, and so he impaired and waxed feeble, both of his body and of his wit. For the default of his sustenance he waxed more wooded than he was aforehand. And then upon a day Sir Lancelot ran his way into the forest, and by adventure he came to the city of Corbin, where Dame Elaine was, that bare Galahad, Sir Lancelot's son. And so when he was entered into the town, he ran for the town to the castle. And then all the young men of that city ran after Sir Lancelot. And there they threw turves at him, and gave him many sad strokes. And ever as Sir Lancelot might overreach any of them, he threw them so that they would never come in his hands no more. For of some he brake the legs and the arms, and so fled into the castle. And then came out knights and squires, and rescued Sir Lancelot. And when they beheld him and looked upon his person, they thought they saw never so goodly a man. And when they saw so many wounds upon him, all they deemed that he had been a man of worship. And then they ordained him clothes to his body, and straw underneath him, and a little house. And then every day they would throw him meat, and set him drink, but there was but few would bring him meat to his hands. Chapter 4. How Sir Lancelot was known by Dame Elaine, and was born into a chamber, and after healed by the Sangreal. So it befell that King Pelles had a nephew. His name was Castor, and so he desired the king to be made knight. And so at the request of this Castor the king made him knight at the feast of Candlemas. And when Sir Castor was made knight, that same day he gave many gowns. And then Sir Castor sent for the fool, that was Sir Lancelot. And when he was come afore Sir Castor, he gave Sir Lancelot a robe of scarlet, and all that longed unto him. And when Sir Lancelot was so arrayed like a knight, he was the seemliest man in all the court, and none so well made. So when he saw his time, he went into the garden, and there Sir Lancelot laid him down by a well and slept. And so at afternoon Dame Elaine and her maidens came into the garden to play them, and as they roamed up and down, one of Dame Elaine's maidens espied, where lay a goodly man by the well sleeping, and anon showed him to Dame Elaine. Peace, said Dame Elaine, and say no word. And then she brought Dame Elaine where he lay. And when that she beheld him, anon she fell in remembrance of him, and knew him verily for Sir Lancelot. And therewithal she fell a weeping so heartily that she sank even to the earth. And when she had thus wept a great while, then she arose and called her maidens and said she was sick. And so she yet her out of the garden, and she went straight to her father, and there she took him apart by herself. And then she said, O father, now have I need of your help, and but if that ye help me fare well my good days for ever. What is that, daughter? Said King Pelles. Sir, she said, thus is it. In your garden I went for the sport, and there, by the well, I found Sir Lancelot du Lake sleeping. I may not believe that, said King Pelles. Sir, she said, truly he is there, and meseemeth he should be distract out of his wit. Then hold you still, said the king, and let me deal. Then the king called to him such as he most trusted, of 4 persons, and Dame Elaine, his daughter. And when they came to the well and beheld Sir Lancelot, anon Dame Brisen knew him. Sir, said Dame Brisen, we must be wise how we deal with him. For this knight is out of his mind, and if we awake him rudely what he will do we all know not. But ye shall abide, and I shall throw such an enchantment upon him that he shall not awake within the space of an hour. And so she did. Then within a little while after, the king commanded that all people should avoid, that none should be in that way there as the king would come. And so when this was done, these 4 men and these ladies laid hand on Sir Lancelot, and so they bare him into a tower, and so into a chamber where was a holy vessel of the Sangreal, and by force Sir Lancelot was laid by that holy vessel. And there came an holy man and unhealed that vessel, and so by miracle and by virtue of that holy vessel Sir Lancelot was healed and recovered. And when that he was awaked, he groaned and sighed, and complained greatly that he was passing sore. Chapter 5. How Sir Lancelot, after that he was whole and had his mind, he was ashamed, and how that Elaine desired a castle for him. And when Sir Lancelot saw King Pelles and Elaine, he waxed ashamed and said thus, O Lord Jesu, how came I here? For God's sake, my lord, let me wit how I came here. Sir, said Dame Elaine, into this country ye came like a madman, clean out of your wit, and here have ye been kept as a fool, and no creature here knew what ye were, until by fortune a maiden of mine brought me unto you whereas ye lay sleeping by a well, and anon as I verily beheld you I knew you. And then I told my father, and so were ye brought afore this holy vessel, and by the virtue of it thus were ye healed. O Jesu, mercy, said Sir Lancelot, if this be sooth, how many there be that know of my woodness? So God me help, said Elaine, no more but my father, and I, and Dame Brisen. Now for Christ's love, said Sir Lancelot, keep it in counsel, and let no man know it in the world, for I am so ashamed that I have been thus miscarried. For I am banished out of the country of Logres for ever, that is for to say the country of England. And so Sir Lancelot lay more than a fortnight, or ever that he might stir for soreness. And then upon a day he said unto Dame Elaine these words, Lady Elaine, for your sake I have had much travail, care, and anguish. It needeth not to rehearse it, ye know how. Notwithstanding, I know well I have done foul to you, and that I drew my sword to you, to have slain you, upon the morn when I had lain with you. And all was the cause, that ye and Dame Brisen made me for to lie by you maugre mine head. And as ye say, that night Galahad your son was begotten. That is truth, said Dame Elaine. Now will ye, for my love, said Sir Lancelot, go unto your father and get me a place of him wherein I may dwell? For in the court of King Arthur may I never come. Sir, said Dame Elaine, I will live and die with you, and only for your sake. And if my life might not avail you, and my death might avail you, wit you well I would die for your sake. And I will go to my father, and I am sure there is nothing that I can desire of him but I shall have it. And where ye be, my lord Sir Lancelot, doubt ye not but I will be with you with all the service that I may do. So forthwithal she went to her father and said, Sir, my lord, Sir Lancelot, desireth to be here by you in some castle of yours. Well, daughter, said the king, so that it is his desire to abide in these marches, he shall be in the castle of Blyant, and there shall ye be with him, and 20 of the fairest ladies that be in the country, and they shall all be of the great blood, and ye shall have 10 knights with you. For, daughter, I will that we all be honoured by the blood of Sir Lancelot. Chapter 6. How Sir Lancelot came into the Joyous Isle, and they named himself Le Chevalier Malfait. Then went Dame Elaine unto Sir Lancelot, and told him all how her father had devised for him and her. Then came the knight Sir Castor, that was nephew unto King Pelles, unto Sir Lancelot, and asked him what was his name. Sir, said Sir Lancelot, my name is Le Chevalier Malfait, that is to say, the knight that hath trespassed. Sir, said Sir Castor, it may well be so, but ever meseemeth your name should be Sir Lancelot du Lake, for now I have seen you. Sir, said Lancelot, ye are not as a gentle knight. I put case my name was Sir Lancelot, and that it list me not to discover my name. What should it grieve you here to keep my counsel, and ye be not hurt thereby? But wit thou well, and ever it lie in my power I shall grieve you, and that I promise you truly. Then Sir Castor kneeled down and besought Sir Lancelot of mercy, for I shall never utter what ye be, while that ye be in these parts. Then Sir Lancelot pardoned him. And then, after this, King Pelles with 10 knights, and Dame Elaine, and 20 ladies, rode unto the castle of Blyant that stood in an island beclosed in iron, with a fair water deep and large. And when they were there, Sir Lancelot let call the Joyous Isle, and there was he called none otherwise but Le Chevalier Malfait, the knight that hath trespassed. Then Sir Lancelot let make him a shield all of sable, and a queen crowned in the midst, all of silver, and a knight clean armed kneeling afore her. And every day once, for any mirth that all the ladies might make him, he would once every day look toward the realm of Logres, where King Arthur and Queen Guinevere was. And then would he fall upon a weeping as his heart should to brast. So it fell that time Sir Lancelot heard of a jousting fast by his castle, within 3 leagues. Then he called unto him a dwarf, and he bade him go unto that jousting. And or ever the knights depart, look thou make their cry, in hearing of all the knights, that there is one knight in the Joyous Isle, that is the castle of Blyant, and say his name is Le Chevalier Malfait, that will joust against knights that will come, and who that putteth that knight to the worst shall have a fair maid and a gerfalcon. Chapter 7. Of a great tourneying in the Joyous Isle, and how Sir Perceval and Sir Ector came thither, and Sir Perceval fought with him. So when this cry was made, unto Joyous Isle drew knights of the number of 500, and wit ye well there was never seen in Arthur's days one knight that did so much deeds of arms as Sir Lancelot did 3 days together. For as the book maketh truly mention, he had the better of all the 500 knights, and there was not one slain of them. And after that Sir Lancelot made them all a great feast. And in the meanwhile came Sir Perceval de Gales, and Sir Ector de Maris unto that castle that was called the Joyous Isle. And as they beheld that gay castle, they would have gone to that castle, but they might not for the broad water, and bridge could they find none. Then they saw on the other side a lady with a spahawk on her hand. And Sir Perceval called unto her, and asked that lady who was in that castle, Fair knights, she said, here within this castle is the fairest lady in this land, and her name is Elaine. Also we have in this castle the fairest knight and the mightiest man that is I dare say living, and he called himself Le Chevalier Malfait. How came he into these marches? Said Sir Perceval. Truly, said the damosel, he came into this country like a madman, with dogs and boys chasing him through the city of Corbin, and by the holy vessel the Sangreal he was brought into his wood again, but he will not do battle with no knight, but by undern or by noon. And if ye list to come into the castle, said the lady, ye must ride unto the further side of the castle, and there shall ye find a vessel that will bear you and your horse. Then they departed, and came unto the vessel. And then Sir Perceval alighted, and said to Sir Ector de Maris, Ye shall abide me here until that I wit what manner knight he is. For it was shame unto us, inasmuch as he is but one knight, and we should both do battle with him. Do ye as ye list. Said Sir Ector, and here I shall abide you until that I hear of you. Then passed Sir Perceval the water, and when he came to the castle gate, he bade the porter, go thou to the good knight within the castle, and tell him here is come an errant knight to joust with him. Sir, said the porter, ride you within the castle, and there is a common place for jousting, that lords and ladies may behold you. So anon as Sir Lancelot had warning, he was soon ready. And there Sir Percivale and Sir Lancelot encountered with such a might, and their spears were so rude, that both the horses and the knights fell to the earth. Then they avoided their horses, and flang out noble swords, and hewed away cantels of their shields, and hurtled together with their shields like two boars, and either wounded other passing sore. At the last Sir Percivale spake first, when they had foughten there more than 2 hours. Fair knight, said Sir Percivale, I require thee tell me thy name, for I met never with such a knight. Sir, said Sir Lancelot, my name is Le Chevalier Malfait. Now tell me your name, said Sir Lancelot. I require you, gentle knight. Truly, said Sir Percivale, my name is Sir Percivale de Gales, that was brother unto the good knight, Sir Lamorak de Gales, and King Pellinore was our father, and Sir Aglovale is my brother. Alas, said Sir Lancelot, what have I done to fight with you that art a knight of the Round Table, that sometime was your fellow? Chapter 8. How each of them knew other, and of their great courtesy, and how his brother Sir Ector came unto him, and of their joy. And therewithal Sir Lancelot kneeled down upon his knees, and threw away his shield and his sword from him. When Sir Percivale saw him do so, he marvelled what he meant. And then thus he said, Sir Knight, whatsoever thou be, I require thee upon the high order of knighthood, tell me thy true name. Then he said, So God me help, my name is Sir Lancelot du Lake, King Ban, son of Benoy. Alas, said Sir Percivale, what have I done? I was sent by the queen for to seek you, and so I have sought you nigh this 2 year, and yonder is Sir Ector de Maris. Your brother bideth me on the other side of the yonder water. Now for God's sake, said Sir Percivale, forgive me mine offences that I have here done. It is soon forgiven, said Sir Lancelot. Then Sir Percivale sent for Sir Ector de Maris, and when Sir Lancelot had a sight of him, he ran unto him and took him in his arms. And then Sir Ector kneeled down, and either wept upon other, that all had pity to behold them. Then came Dame Elaine, and she then made them great cheer as might lie in her power. And there she told Sir Ector and Sir Percivale how and in what manner Sir Lancelot came into that country, and how he was healed. And there it was known how long Sir Lancelot was with Sir Bliant and with Sir Selivant, and how he first met with them, and how he departed from them because of a boar, and how the hermit healed Sir Lancelot of his great wound, and how that he came to Corbin. Chapter 9. How Sir Bors and Sir Lionel came to King Brandigo, and how Sir Bors took his son Helen LeBlanc, and of Sir Lancelot. Now leave we Sir Lancelot in the joyous isle with the lady Dame Elaine, and Sir Percivale and Sir Ector playing with them, and turn we to Sir Bors de Ganis and Sir Lionel, that had sought Sir Lancelot nigh by the space of 2 year, and never could they hear of him. And as they thus rode, by adventure they came to the house of Brandigo, and there Sir Bors was well known, for he had gotten a child upon the king's daughter 15 year tofore, and his name was Helen LeBlanc. And when Sir Bors saw that child, it like him passing well. And so those knights had good cheer of the King Brandigo. And on the morn Sir Bors came before King Brandigo and said, Here is my son Helen LeBlanc, that as it is said he is my son. And sith it is so, I will that ye wit that I will have him with me unto the court of King Arthur. Sir, said the king, ye may well take him with you, but he is over tender of age. As for that, said Sir Bors, I will have him with me, and bring him to the house of most worship of the world. So when Sir Bors should depart, there was made great sorrow for the departing of Helen LeBlanc, and great weeping was there made. But Sir Bors and Sir Lionel departed, and within a while they came to Camelot, where was King Arthur. And when King Arthur understood that Helen LeBlanc was Sir Bors' son, and nephew unto King Brandigo, then King Arthur let him make knight of the Round Table, and so he proved a good knight and an adventurous. Now will we turn to our matter of Sir Lancelot. It befell upon a day Sir Ector and Sir Percivale came to Sir Lancelot, and asked him what he would do, and whether he would go with them unto King Arthur or not. Nay, said Sir Lancelot, that may not be by no mean, for I was so entreated at the court that I cast me never to come there more. Sir, said Sir Ector, I am your brother, and ye are the man in the world I love most, and if I understood that were your disworship, ye may understand I would never counsel you thereto, but King Arthur and all his knights, and in especial Queen Guinevere, made such dole and sorrow that it was marvel to hear and see. And ye must remember the great worship and renown that ye be of, how that ye be more spoken of than any other knight that is now living. For there is none that beareth the name now but ye and Sir Tristram. Therefore, brother, said Sir Ector, make you ready to ride to the court with us. And I dare say there was never knight better welcome to the court than ye, and I wot well and can make it good. Said Sir Ector, it hath cost my lady, the queen, 20,000 pound the seeking of you. Well, brother, said Sir Lancelot, I will do after your counsel, and ride with you. So then they took their horses and made them ready, and took their leave at King Pelles and at Dame Elaine. And when Sir Lancelot should depart, Dame Elaine made great sorrow. My lord, Sir Lancelot, said Dame Elaine, at this same feast of Pentecost shall your son and mine, Galahad, be made knight, for he is fully now 15 winter old. Do as ye list, said Sir Lancelot. God give him grace to prove a good knight. As for that, said Dame Elaine, I doubt not he shall prove the best man of his kin except one. Then shall he be a man good enough, said Sir Lancelot. Chapter 10. How Sir Lancelot with Sir Percivale and Sir Ector came to the court, and of the great joy of him. Then they departed, and within 5 days' journey they came to Camelot, that is called in English Winchester. And when Sir Lancelot was come among them, the king and all the knights made great joy of him. And there Sir Percivale de Gales and Sir Ector de Maris began and told the whole adventures, that Sir Lancelot had been out of his mind the time of his absence, and how he called himself Le Chevalier Malfait, the knight that had trespassed, and in 3 days Sir Lancelot smote down 500 knights. And ever as Sir Ector and Sir Percivale told these tales of Sir Lancelot, Queen Guinevere wept as she should have died. Then the queen made great cheer. O Jesu, said King Arthur, I marvel for what cause ye, Sir Lancelot, went out of your mind. I and many others deem it was the love of fair Elaine, the daughter of King Pelles, by whom ye noise that ye have gotten a child, and his name is Galahad, and men say he shall do marvels. My lord, said Sir Lancelot, if I did any folly I have that I sought. And therewithal the king spake no more. But all Sir Lancelot's kin knew for whom he went out of his mind. And then there were great feasts made and great joy, and many great lords and ladies. When they heard that Sir Lancelot was come to the court again, they made great joy. Chapter 11. How La Beale Isoud counselled Sir Tristram to go unto the court to the great feast of Pentecost. Now will we leave off this matter, and speak we of Sir Tristram, and of Sir Palomides that was a Saracen unchristened. When Sir Tristram was come home unto Joyous Gard from his adventures, all this while that Sir Lancelot was thus missed, 2 year and more, Sir Tristram bare the renown through all the realm of Logres, and many strange adventures befell him, and full well and manly and worshipfully he brought them to an end. So when he was come home, La Beale Isoud told him of the great feast that should be at Pentecost next following, and there she told him how Sir Lancelot had been missed 2 year, and all that while he had been out of his mind, and how he was holpen by the holy vessel, the Sangreal. Alas, said Sir Tristram, that caused some debate betwixt him and Queen Guinevere. Sir, said Dame Isoud, I know it all, for Queen Guinevere sent me a letter in the which he wrote me all how it was, for to require you to seek him. And now, blessed be God, said La Beale Isoud, he is whole and sound and come again to the court. Thereover, my glad, said Sir Tristram, and now shall ye and I make us ready, for both ye and I will be at the feast. Sir, said Isoud, and it please you I will not be there, for through me ye be marked of many good knights, and that cause you to have much more labour for my sake than needeth you. Then will I not be there, said Sir Tristram, but if ye be there, God defend, said La Beale Isoud, for then shall I be spoken of shame among all queens and ladies of estate. For ye that are called one of the noblest knights of the world, and ye a knight of the Round Table, how may ye be missed at that feast? What shall be said among all knights? See how Sir Tristram hunteth, and hawketh, and cowereth within a castle with his lady, and forsaketh your worship. Alas, shall some say, it is pity that ever he was made knight, or that ever he should have the love of a lady. Also what shall queens and ladies say of me? It is pity that I have my life, that I will hold so noble a knight as ye are from his worship. So God me help, said Sir Tristram unto La Beale Isoud. It is passing well said of you and nobly counselled, and now I well understand that ye love me, and like as ye have counselled me I will do a part thereafter. But there shall no man nor child ride with me, but myself. And so will I ride on Tuesday next coming, and no more harness of war but my spear and my sword. Chapter 12. How Sir Tristram departed unarmed and met with Sir Palomides, and how they smote each other, and how Sir Palomides forbare him. And so when the day came, Sir Tristram took his leave at La Beale Isoud, and she sent with him 4 knights. And within half a mile he sent them again. And within a mile after Sir Tristram saw for him where Sir Palomides had stricken down a knight, and almost wounded him to the death. Then Sir Tristram repented him that he was not armed, and then he hove still. Whether Sir Palomides knew Sir Tristram, and cried on high, Sir Tristram, now be we met, for we depart we will redress our old souls. As for that, said Sir Tristram, there was yet never Christian man might make his boast that ever I fled from him. And wit ye well, Sir Palomides, thou that art a Saracen shall never make thy boast that Sir Tristram the Lion shall flee from thee. And therewith Sir Tristram made his horse to run, and with all his might he came straight upon Sir Palomides, and brast his spear upon him in 100 pieces. And forthwithal Sir Tristram drew his sword. And then he turned his horse and struck at Palomides 6 great stroke upon his helm. And then Sir Palomides stood still, and beheld Sir Tristram, and marvelled at his woodness and of his folly. And then Sir Palomides said to himself, An Sir Tristram were armed, it were hard to seize him of this battle, and if I turn again and slay him, I am ashamed wheresoever that I go. Then Sir Tristram spake and said, Thou coward knight, what castest thou to do? Why wilt thou not do battle with me? For have thou no doubt I shall endure all thy malice. Ah, Sir Tristram, said Palomides, full well thou wottest I may not fight with thee for shame, for thou art here naked and I am armed, and if I slay thee, dishonour shall be mine. And well thou wottest, said Sir Palomides to Sir Tristram, I know thy strength and thy hardiness to endure against a good knight. That is truth, said Sir Tristram, I understand thy valiantness well. Ye say well, said Sir Palomides. Now, I require you, tell me a question that I shall say to you. Tell me what it is, said Sir Tristram, and I shall answer you the truth, as God me help. I put case, said Sir Palomides, that you are armed at all rights as well as I am, and I naked as ye be. What would you do to me now, by your true knighthood? Ah, said Sir Tristram, now I understand thee well, Sir Palomides, for now must I say mine own judgment, and as God me bless, that I shall say shall not be said for no fear that I have of thee. But this is all, with Sir Palomides, as at this time thou shouldest depart from me, for I would not have ado with thee. No more will I, said Palomides, and therefore ride forth on thy way. As for that I may choose, said Sir Tristram, either to ride or to abide. But Sir Palomides, said Sir Tristram, I marvel of one thing, that thou that art so good a knight, that thou wilt not be christened, and thy brother, Sir Sophia, of being christened many a day. Chapter 13. How that Sir Tristram get him harness of a knight which was hurt, and how he overthrew Sir Palomides. As for that, said Sir Palomides, I may not yet be christened for one vow that I have made many years agone. Howbeit in my heart I believe in Jesus Christ and his mild mother Mary, but I have but one battle to do, and when that is done I will be baptized with a good will. By my head, said Tristram, as for one battle thou shalt not seek it no longer. For God defend, said Sir Tristram, that through my default thou shouldst longer live as a Saracen, for yonder is a knight that ye, Sir Palomides, have hurt and smitten down. Now help me that I were armed in his armour, and I shall soon fulfil thine vows. As ye will, said Palomides, so it shall be. So they rode both unto that knight that sat upon a bank, and then Sir Tristram saluted him, and he weakly saluted him again. Sir Knight, said Sir Tristram, I require you tell me your right name. Sir, he said, my name is Sir Gawain of Galway, and Knight of the Table Round. So God me help, said Sir Tristram, I am right heavy of your hurts. But this is all, I must pray you to lend me all your whole armour, for ye see I am unarmed, and I must do battle with this knight. Sir, said the hurt knight, ye shall have it with a good will, but ye must beware, for I warn you that knight is white. Sir, said Gawain, I pray you tell me your name, and what is that knight's name that hath beaten me? Sir, as for my name, it is Sir Tristram de Lions, and as for the knight's name that hath hurt you is Sir Palomides, brother to the good knight Sir Sophia, and yet is Sir Palomides unchristened. Alas, said Sir Galahad, that is pity that so good a knight and so noble a man of arms should be unchristened. So God me help, said Sir Tristram, either he shall slay me or I him, but that he shall be christened or ever we depart in sunder. My lord Sir Tristram, said Sir Galahad, your renown and worship is well known through many realms, and God save you this day from shenship and shame. Then Sir Tristram unarmed Galahad, the which was a noble knight, and had done many deeds of arms, and he was a large knight of flesh and bone. And when he was unarmed, he stood upon his feet, for he was bruised in the back with a spear. Yet so as Sir Galahad might, he armed Sir Tristram. And then Sir Tristram mounted upon his own horse, and in his hand he gets Sir Galahad's spear, and therewithal Sir Palomides was ready. And so they came hurtling together, and either smote other in midst of their shields, and therewithal Sir Palomides' spear brake, and Sir Tristram smote down the horse. And Sir Palomides, as soon as he might, avoided his horse, and dressed his shield, and pulled out his sword, that saw Sir Tristram, and therewithal he alighted and tied his horse till a tree. Chapter 14. How Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides fought long together, and after accorded, and how Sir Tristram made him to be christened. And then they came together as two wild bulls, lashing together, tracing and traversing as noble men that oft had been well proved in battle. But ever Sir Palomides dread the might of Sir Tristram, and therefore he suffered him to breathe him. Thus they fought more than 2 hours. But often Sir Tristram smote such strokes at Sir Palomides that he made him to kneel, and Sir Palomides brake and cut away many pieces of Sir Tristram's shield. And then Sir Palomides wounded Sir Tristram, for he was a well-fighting man. Then Sir Tristram was wroth out of measure, and rushed upon Sir Palomides with such a might that Sir Palomides fell grovelling to the earth, and therewithal he leapt up lightly upon his feet. And then Sir Tristram wounded Palomides all through the shoulder. And ever Sir Tristram fought still and like hard, and Sir Palomides failed not, but gave him many sad strokes. And at the last Sir Tristram doubled his strokes, and by fortune Sir Tristram smote Sir Palomides' sword out of his hand, and if Sir Palomides had stooped for his sword, he had been slain. Then Palomides stood still and beheld his sword with a sorrowful heart. How now, said Sir Tristram unto Palomides, now have I the advantage as thou hadst me this day, but it shall never be said in no court, nor among good knights, that Sir Tristram shall slay any knight that is weaponless, and therefore take thou thy sword, and let us make an end of this battle. As for to do this battle, said Palomides, I dare right well end it, but I have no great lust to fight no more. And for this cause, said Palomides, mine offence to you is not so great but that we may be friends. All that I have offended is, and was for the love of La Beale Isoud. And as for her, I dare say she is peerless above all other ladies, and also I profit her never no dishonour, and by her I have gotten the most part of my worship. And sithen I offended never as to her own person, and as for the offence that I have done, it was against your own person, and for that offence ye have given me this day many sad strokes, and some I have given you again. And now I dare say I felt never man of your might, nor so well breathed, but if it was Sir Lancelot du Lake. Wherefore I require you, my lord, forgive me all that I have offended unto you, and this same day have me to the next church. And first let me be clean confessed, and after see you now that I be truly baptized. And then will we all ride together unto the court of Arthur, that we be there at the high feast. Now take your horse, said Sir Tristram, and as ye say so it shall be, and all thine evil will God forgive it you, and I do. And here within this mile is the suffragan of Carlisle that shall give you the sacrament of baptism. Then they took their horses, and Sir Galahad rode with them. And when they came to the suffragan, Sir Tristram told him their desire. Then the suffragan let fill a great vessel with water, and when he had hallowed it, he then confessed clean Sir Palomides, and Sir Tristram and Sir Galahad were his godfathers. And then soon after they departed, riding toward Camelot, where King Arthur and Queen Guinevere was, and for the most part all the knights of the Round Table. And so the king and all the court were glad that Sir Palomides was christened. And at the same feasting came Galahad and set in the siege perilous. And so therewithal departed and dissevered all the knights of the Round Table. And Sir Tristram returned again unto Joyous Gard, and Sir Palomides followed the questing beast.